Hi Stitchy friends, my name's Lorraine and you're at my channel Shane Brick Cottage. Welcome. I appreciate you stopping in to visit with me in my sewing room. Today is Monday, May 19th, and I'm going to share with you in this episode a couple of previous finishes I have that I'm pulling out for summertime. Some finished items that I need to fully finish and make a decision on which pieces I'm going to enter in the county fair next month. I have the rug that I started. It's not done. It's very close, but it's not done, but I pulled it off the machine to show you guys. I have a cross stitch project that I worked on and my English paper piecing, and I have a gift that Abby made me and a lot of haul. So let's get started. So let me start with the previous fully finished items that I pulled out to start doing a little bit of summer decorating. So here is Berry Blessed by Stitching with the Housewives. It was my first round finish, so it's not perfect. It got a little janky, but I really like it a lot. All the traditional things to finish with it, and then I used a little cheese board from the thrift store that I found, and I'll just put this up in the kitchen during the summer, and then I'll put it away at the end of summer. So I have that. I have this little pillow. I don't recall who to give credit to. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But it was a little pillow made out of scraps, just little pieces of fabric I had, a little piece of lace, some buttons. I put a 2024 charm on it, and I just stuffed it with some polyfill. So this will go out in the living room. I'll either sit it on the rocking chair we have that has like some quilts and pillows displayed on it, or I do have a small pillow basket next to the television, so depending how that fits, I might put it in there. I just finished it out with some rickrack. I really like it. I would love, and I would really like to make a bigger one, maybe a couple in different sizes, and then put them all in my rocking chair in the living room. That's a thought. And then here's a piece that I did enter in the county fair before. I don't remember if I think this might have been last year's. My bow's a little. This hangs up year round in the kitchen, and this was a Primrose Cottage. And I miscalculated my Ada, so it was super tight. So I think I either left off the very top or I think I left off the very top. I don't remember now. I left off part of the chart so I could fit it on my piece of Ada. It's 14 count, all called for colors, just on a board that I found from the thrift store. And if I remember correctly, I mean, don't hold me to it, I believe this, I'm like 99% sure this got a blue ribbon. So I love these colors, and I do let it hang up all year round in the kitchen. My kitchen walls are yellow, and I have a lot of like Pioneer Woman things in there, so there's a lot of different colors going on, so it kind of goes well. So that's that. Let me set that down here. And then I do have some other finishes that are summery that maybe I'll share with you at a later time because they're out in the camper. Like I made a red, white, and blue quilt, which I love, and I made a Lori Holt camping cross stitch pillow, or a cross stitch pattern that I turned into a pillow, and that's in the camper. So maybe later this summer I'll share that with you guys. I think they turned out really nice, and I would encourage you, if you haven't made those patterns, to make them. And then speaking of previous finishes, the shirt I'm wearing is a shirt that I made it. I don't know how many years ago I made this. But I made a shirt. So anyway, previous finishes. So let's talk about, let me show you my finished items that I pulled out of my little basket. I really had hoped I had more done this year, but and I do have a few more than I pulled out, but these are the ones that are contenders to get finished in some sort to fit into a category. So, and I apologize, they're not iron. I have no pattern names, but if you would like them, just reach out to me. I have project cards for everything I can find out. But I just wanted to show you guys. So I have this cute little red, white, and blue. Very pretty. So I think I might have a small stand-up frame that I can put it on. My fair is very particular. Things are supposed to be framed. So some of the more non-traditional finishes that we do nowadays don't count. So I have to be careful if I want to enter something how I finish it. Or this might make a really great pillow. And there is a category called other. And at my fair, you can only enter, you cannot compete against yourself. You can only enter one item per category. So that's an option. Bobbin is definitely an option, but I'm a little concerned because I am going to finish this on that wooden spool. And so I'm not sure if this would count because it's 2 pieces, if it would count as a pillow or if it would count as a stuffed animal, which I really wouldn't consider it a stuffed animal. I don't know. So this is a maybe. Plus, I don't know how my finishing is going to turn out on my first cracker. But anyway, I do have a second cracker on the way. I bought, oh shoot, what's her name? I bought the rabbit with the pretty dress and the little cardigan. She's like my next favorite. So she's the one I'm going to do next. And then this one is a Lizzie Kate that I did last year. I think there was 3 patterns in the book, so I haven't finished all of them. I just did this one. This one I really enjoyed stitching a lot. So this is definitely a contender for something really, really pretty. All of these are on 14 count. Ada, some sort of brown or beige. I noticed that when I pulled them all out. That must be my go-to. This one I need to measure, but I'm pretty sure it's either this one. I think this will count as my large. And I need to get crack-a-lacking because this one would be a frame piece for sure because this is something I want to leave hanging all year long. It's either this one or it's the Jardin Privé one that I keep like, oh, I love it, but I won't finish it. It's almost like one of those good books where you don't want to finish it because then it'll be all done. So I keep procrastinating. But this one for sure. This one I also did a little modification. There's supposed to be some bricks going underneath the feet of the lady, but my count was slightly off, and so I just didn't do the bricks. Otherwise, it would have been noticeable. So I left the brick work off. So that one I like a lot. And then this one is super cute. This one's going to go up year round when I figure out what I'm doing with it. So I think it'll have to be some sort of framed piece because I want to hang it in the kitchen. And I have a good chunk of it to cut off yet. So I need to do some measurements, look at my categories, make a decision, and just go for it. So if you have any suggestions or thoughts on those pieces that I picked out for good finishes, let me know. Just keeping in mind that I'm supposed to frame them for the most part. So I worked on those, and then those were finishes. This is what I worked on this week. So this past weekend we were home, so I did get a little stitching done, but Lilith came over. She's our granddaughter that's 3.5, almost 4. She came over Friday night and we camped in the camper that's parked in our front yard. Which was really interesting. I watched Rapunzel twice. I did puzzles, more Barbies, all kinds of shenanigans. So I didn't get a lot of crafting done Friday, but then Saturday I did. So, and then the previous weekend we were away camping, so I didn't get a lot. I didn't do any cross stitching. So here is what I worked on the last couple nights. It's a really quick stitch after I got the border done. It's very enjoyable, and I love these colors. And this pattern I do have handy. It's a calico confectionery, and you got 2 patterns for the price of 1. So I'm really liking it. And here's the colors. I'm using DMC, and I was thinking about, not that I'm a designer, nor do I ever strive to be, because I'm not an artist, but I noticed like a lot of artists gravitate towards certain color palettes, either because of the season or kind of overall, they always kind of choose the same things. And I'm finding that there's certain colors and certain color combinations that I really like. And so I think instead of filing some of my favorite colors back in their organization system, like DMC is organized by number, Classic Color Works is by name, I might make a separate ring and kind of keep out like, oh, these are my favorite greens, these are my favorite pinks, my favorite reds, and kind of have that palette to work with. Not saying I would use them all the time, because I'm not very confident sometimes in picking my own colors, but there's some color combinations that really just talk to me, like this one here. And I think I've mentioned that before on a couple of the Stitching with the Housewives patterns. Like their April month to month had this beautiful yellow and blue that every time I look at it, I'm just like, oh, I love this together. So I might give that a try. Do you guys do anything like that? Do you have like your go-to palette or your go-to blue that you like? Like I know I really like Blue Corn by Classic Color Works for a blue. I really like that one a lot. So anyway, just let me know what you do. If you do that, if you have like a few colors that you kind of sub in a lot because you like them. So that's what I worked on. And then the project that I worked on the most since we last met was the Jelly Roll rug that I started. So I'm using this pattern here, and I'll insert a picture of the Jelly Roll that I'm using before it got all taken apart. It is called Between the Pages, and it was by Riley Blake. And here is my progress so far. And as you can see, I still got more to add. So this is how much I have left to add. So I'm almost done. I'm on the last bit of navy. It's really beautiful. Really, really beautiful. I love it so very much. I've learned so much. And I'm going to insert at the bottom of the screen here in the notes. I know I'm not great about doing notes. 3 people that I watched while I was working on the rug before and during that I got tips from each one that helped me as I was going along to make it better and better. So let's talk about some things that I would do differently. So you may have noticed as I was holding it up, I started to get some waving on the blue. I had no waves going on until I started adding the blue. What I think is happening, one of the tips I got was if it looks like a bowl, your tension is too tight, like the tension on the fabric as you're creating it. If you start getting waves, you're feeding too much fabric. In both cases, you kind of should let the machine do the work. So for the white and the pink, a good part of all the white and some of the pink, I was using my walking foot, which I was finding created great tension, but I was finding that my walking foot, the stitch I can use is a 5.5 is the widest zigzag I can use. If I switched out to my regular presser foot for my machine, which is a Singer, Snap-on A, the A foot, I could go up to a 6.6. No, just a 6.0. So I get a 0.5 millimeter bigger. That made a difference because with the smaller zigzag, sometimes I was missing my fabric, and I had a hard time with my walking foot finding that sweet spot on my foot that caught both sides really nice. I had better visual when I switched to the other foot, and I got a bigger zigzag. So that was great. But what was happening with that other foot, since it's not a walking foot, I found myself unconsciously using, as I'm using the stiletto to kind of hold the two sides together as I'm coming around, I think I started pushing my fabric through that regular presser foot, and I was feeding too much ease into it, and that's creating the waves. So I learned that. So I learned that I want to use my regular presser foot so I get a better zigzag, because I was missing. Here, let me show you what I mean when I say missing. So I don't know if you can see that. It got a little lip where it didn't get caught. It doesn't see through. It caught one side of the tubing, but not the other side. So instead of being smooth, I've got a little lip. And that pretty much was eliminated when I switched to the other foot on my machine. The other thing that I learned, now that I have more colors on here, it doesn't matter as much to me. But when I was just stitching mostly the light white colors, I chose a variegated thread. One, because I like using the variegated thread. Two, it's a huge spool and I'm going through a ton of thread, so I thought that would be great. And two, I thought the variegation would add some interest and kind of blend with everything. But I found, even though I like scrappy, it was too much for me on this white. All I saw was my stitching. And especially in the beginning, which this was my first rug, you know, I forgot to taper where I started. So it's kind of a little wonky looking and you really see it with the thread. So I think on my next rug, on my white, I will use white thread. When I switch to another color, I will switch to that color thread, etc., etc. So my thread kind of matches better. It doesn't stand out as much. Let's see, what else did I learn? What else did I learn? I learned that I love it. I learned that it's super time consuming. It's not hard. Way more time, way more thread than I thought. Yeah, I would recommend it though. It is a blast and I cannot wait. This one, at first I was thinking, well, if it's just kind of okay, I'll enter it in the fair because I don't have that many pieces this year to enter. And then I kind of really looked at, you know, of course with your own eye, you're kind of critical, but I decided, no, I don't want to. There's a lot of things that I could have done better and I don't want to enter it just to be entering it. I'm definitely going to use it. It's going to go in this room, the sewing room, right underneath the table that I'm sitting here talking to you. I am dying to use it and I am dying to make more jelly rolls. Oh, I know one other thing that I would do better. So some people on this tubing kind of do what I did, almost stitch down the middle. And this I did use my walking foot on. But not only are you seeing this stitch, now when I join it, you're seeing the zigzag stitch here, and I don't like that. Somebody else recommended if you put the stitch when you're making the tubing closer to the folded edges, the zigzag stitch covers it, so then you only have one set of stitching that you see. But other than that, it worked great. Some of my tubing is not perfect, which also lends to that where some of the sides don't get caught and some do. Like see how it's not matching perfectly, but that's okay. And I don't know where it's at now. I used that clover tool. Amazing, amazing. So this not matching up has nothing to do with the clover tool, the machine, anything like that. That would probably just be me, you know, kind of getting in the zone and not paying attention and kind of daydreaming and getting off a little bit when I was making this. So anyway, love that so much. And then the other thing that I worked on, oh, I don't know if you guys, I want to say this. My one friend thought this was really clever, but it's not my idea at all. I seen on the Floss Boss and Cousins, Christy always has her scissors hanging from her shirt. And I started doing that when we're camping. So then I always have them handy so I can snip my stuff. And my friend thought that was so clever. And I was like, well, it's not my idea, but I'm glad you like it. So anyway, that's why there's a little thing on there, like a little name badge clip. But this is what I worked on when we went away camping. So let me pull my needle and thread off of there. I worked on my English paper piecing. Pulled a needle off. And I got one almost one whole round done on this flower. All I have left is this one little flappy. I've worked on this a couple of nights. So I guess I'm ready to start the next round on it. I think the white is my pattern the next round, or I can start another one of these with the colors. And we are going camping the first weekend in June, and we're going for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, a long, very long. I'm going to work part of that, so it won't be all fun, but I think I'm going to take the English paper piecing because that seems to work really well for a travel piece. It's a pretty exciting weekend for us. Today was Steve's last Monday, and then the weekend that we camp, he'll be done working altogether that first weekend in June. So because the next Monday is Memorial Day, so a holiday, he won't have to work. The following Monday, the 1st, is his birthday, so he doesn't have to work on that day, and then he retires that week. So exciting and scary for us. I'm excited for him and the future that it holds for us to have a whole little different lifestyle with him being around and not, waking up at the middle of the night to go to work. And, I'll still be working for the next 10 years or so, but it's exciting. It's scary. But anyway, that's going to be my travel camping piece. That's worked really well. I've enjoyed taking that. The next part of the video is my haul. I have a lot of haul. I'm finding that I enjoy shopping for the stuff, all the stuff. I think there's been a little bit of panic shopping on my part because of the tariffs. And for instance, like I shop primarily from the Fat Quarter Shop, and Kimberly said that she thought May would be the time that we would start seeing some price increases going forward for their next, shipment of new fabrics and stuff. And that's not their fault. That's tariffs and the political climate we're in, and that's unfortunate. And then also I think there's been a little anxiety, panic shopping about, my husband retiring and what that means for us for the future. And then I think also I just, of course I enjoy like getting all the new pretty things, and I enjoy the bargains. And so when I see something on sale, of course I'm going to bring it home. So with all that being said, let's dive into all the exciting haul I have. So today was like a great day. I got like 3 pieces of things in the mail. One of them I haven't opened. I wanted to open it with you guys. So let me grab a pair of scissors. So if this is a spoiler alert, look away for the next couple minutes. I got Sweet Season Stitching with the Housewives. Oh, I guess I showed you my address. I don't care, whatever. I did not get the first one. And when I saw that needle minder, like the little carrot cake needle minder, I was like, I want that so bad. So I signed up. So let's see what this month is. Of course, I knew it was probably going to be strawberries, but let's see what it is together. Is this a quarterly thing? This is my quarterly splurge. So I told Steve for this year, I'm going to have this going forward as if I like this one, I'll continue with the quarterly. And then I signed up for, which is delayed, a monthly quilt along pattern with fabric. I think Marian Bright. I could be wrong on the name. I think Marian Bright's an old name. I don't know. But when it comes, I'll share with you guys. I'm getting that every month. This was start in May and go till October or something. So let's see. Oh, that's right. I forgot we get a bag. And I also wanted the bag. So there's the bag. Very nice. Let's see what's the goodies inside. Oh, how dear. Again, if it's a spoiler for you, look away. Okay, so here's the pattern. It's all about strawberry shortcake. Very pretty, very pretty. Not high on my list to do right now because I have other things I want to do, but I could totally see maybe even pulling out, looks like a strawberry shortcake on on a little cake stand or tier stand, maybe pulling that out and making a very tiny little something to put with my berries in the kitchen. So excited. I knew that probably it was going to be the notions that I wanted more than the pattern, only because I have so many other patterns that I'm working on. And I know Priscilla's real heavy on repeating motifs, like a really full cross stitch, which for me sometimes is too much. I like less to stitch, if that makes sense. Like I'm not into like a lot, because like I'm a really slow stitcher. But in her colors, I knew like I would love everything. I knew that I would love the colors and the notions. So let's see what else so it talks about, we get the pattern, we get the floss. It was another reason why I wanted to get it, because I always love her color choices, hers and Chelsea's. So let's see what colors we got in this. And I'm just going to add this straight to stash. So we got bamboo, black coffee, queen bee. See, there's that one of those yellows I always like. Really tealy, which is a red I love. Ribbon red, or really tealy, not a red I love, a blue. Ribbon red, one of the reds I love, and the steamed broccoli. So I knew, didn't matter what the pattern was, that the colors were going to be something that I love. The needle minder is awesome. So let me pull it out of the package and show you. I'm so excited about it. I keep trying to find where the camera lens is. So it's like little baby strawberry shortcakes, little cupcakes with strawberries on them. The really pretty teal with the strawberries. I adore it, and I'm so happy that I got it. So there's that. And then you get a little piece of finishing fabric, which is almost like gold now, since their fabric is discontinued. And so this will go to stash. That's a beautiful piece of fabric. And then let's see what else we have. And then there's a coupon, 20% off cross stitch patterns when you purchase 3 or more, promo code blah blah blah. And that's through the Fat Quarter Shop. It excludes PDFs, sale items, reservations, memberships, and the coupon's good until June 14th. So if you got this, and here's your little coupon code. So I'm happy. I am so happy that I got it. I got trash. Let me put my trash away. Yay! Yay me! Yay me! It was a little bit of a splurge, but I'm glad I got it. So let me show you the other goodies that I have. Oh, I have a finish. So I have a finish, but I didn't stitch it. This was, and it's probably one of my previous videos, and I didn't take a picture before I finished it, what it looked like before I cut it. This was a rescue from the thrift store. And it probably was a 5x7 rectangular piece, and in red it said something like welcome friends or welcome friendship. And I cut the little heart, and then I backed it with a little piece of a charm square of Lori Holt I had. This is a little bit of fabric I have from the English paper piecing I'm working on. And I just put a 2025 charm and some buttons on there. And I'm not huge on purple, but I really like hearts. I like the idea of rescuing it. I love the florals. And so that's going to fit perfectly here. I have a heart-shaped, let me reach over and grab it. On my shelf, which is out of camera, I have a little heart-shaped Lagenberger basket that my little Isabel bloom sits in. And if you're from the Midwest, you know what an Isabel bloom is, right? If you're from Iowa and Illinois, you know. But anyway, so here's the little basket, and it kind of, it's just going to kind of sit in there on its side. So I thought I'd share that with you. So don't be afraid to rescue something from the thrift store, even if it's, maybe not, you don't want to rescue something just to be rescuing it. You got to like it. But think about how you could remake it and incorporate it into your decor, or, maybe a gift for somebody, or, it was clean, it was nice, it was just a little dated, and, I just made it into something else. So that's that. Speaking of making things, before I get back in the haul, let me show you. Abby showed up on Saturday night. She came over unexpectedly with my Mother's Day gift. She had called me earlier the weekend of Mother's Day. I was gone. I was camping, and she had said, I have a Mother's Day gift for you. You and myself and the kids do. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just see you whenever. You know, we're not home. You know, I'm not. You know, it's awesome that she thought of me, but I'm not like worried about her or whatever. So she came by and she made me the most thoughtful gift. So she tried to make, well, she didn't try, she did make me a design board because I don't have one, and I was kind of hanging that quilt batting in my office as a design wall. So she made me this. And it's like framed. And it has the hanging hardware so I can hang it either way. It's a poster frame. She said she used foam board and batting. And then this is like, I don't know what this is. If it's fleece or something, kind of cotton. And it is like that. It's like a pink cow print. And I don't have room in here. I don't have wall space to hang it up. My husband came in and he was like, I don't know where you put that. I go, I don't know either. Whoops, sorry. I sat it on the dog, sorry. But I think what I'm going to do is, instead of hanging it up permanently, I put a 3M hook here between my two bookcases, and it hangs. You know, it's not like, I wouldn't want it there permanently because of all my other stuff on the bookcases, but it's right here next to my sewing machine and my little pressing station. So I think I'm going to hang it there when I'm using it and put my little blocks up there as I'm assembling. I think that's going to be perfect. Or as Abby always says for everything, chef's kiss. I think it's going to be a chef's kiss. It's going to be perfect. So that was so kind. So let's get back into haul. Let me show you what else I have. So I got this. This was like a crazy bananas cheap. So this is Willow's Farm by Deb Strand. I am like becoming like these little mini charm collectors and not doing anything with them. And I'll insert a picture here from the internet so you can see what all the little fabrics look like. They're like these dear, sweet little farm motifs, kind of nursery-ish, but not like over-the-top nursery, just really sweet and gentle. And I think this was 75 cents on flash sale. So like, I was like, yes, please. And of course I have a lot of things on my wish list. So, you know, just add a couple things. So I'm not paying shipping on just 75 cents, but I got that. I love it so much. It's so cute. And then this is very unusual for me to buy a whole kit at once. Like usually I'm like, oh, I like the pattern, and then I will get the other goodies to go with it later. But so this is an old pattern, older, I don't know what year. Does it have a year on it? Yeah, 2021, older for sure. Pattern by Lori Holt that's been around, that you've probably seen a million people stitch. But the Fat Quarter Shop just showed it recolored. And here, let me pull this out in Americana colors. And I don't know, it like really spoke to me when I saw it. Okay, and you could only get the recoloring with the thread pack is how it worked. So this is what the recoloring looks like. And of course you wouldn't need their recoloring. You could do your own thing, but I'm not the greatest at picking colors. And this did it for me. This sold it. And I'm thinking that I'm going to stitch this, you know, in the next 20 years, whenever I get to it, and put it in our bedroom. Because I think that navy is going to be the cat's meow in our bedroom. So I got the pattern, whoops, the floss. I got my 14 count Ada for it. And then this was on flash sale. And I don't use these. I have a couple. There's no reason not to use them. They're adorable, but I prefer the floss drops. But I thought I'll add this to my collection, and it goes with the red, white, and blue theme I had going on. So I got all of that, and I was so excited when it came in the mail. I don't know if I'll start it this year or not. I should, because I'm such a slowpoke. Or maybe I wouldn't be a slowpoke if I didn't start so much. Maybe if I stitched only on a few things. I don't know. what fun would that be, right? Starting things is fun. Trying to put the paper back in there so I don't lose it. So that was really exciting. So if you didn't see that, or if you have this pattern already, all you would have to do is buy the thread pack to get the recoloring. And it's DMC, so, you know, it's easy peasy. Then I got this Jolly Bar. I already have, yes, I do. I have this fabric line in a fat quarter bundle. And as you know, the Jolly Bars come with their own exclusive pattern. And I just love this fabric line so much. And again, I'll just insert a photo here. I was going to say video. Photo here of the full fabric layout so you can see it all. Definitely going to make this. And then I like having, like when fabric that I like, and I might already own some of it, goes on sale, I don't mind buying more of it because I like it. And then I have more that can coordinate together for another project. So that works for me. I just think this is really sweet and delicate. This is Brenda Riddle, and this is Georgia. And so to make the pattern, I would need yardage if I was going to do the border that they did. So I might, you know, who knows. But anyway, pretty. These, I printed just 2. And I got the information from Fat Quarter Shop's Flosstube, Quilt Tube, Flosstube, I don't know, whatever their videos are called. Moda has some free project tracking sheets. I do have my own project cards. I had a few made from Vistaprint that I like using. But I did print these out just so I have a couple of them to see, and they're really nice. So if you don't have something already that you're using, this is really nice and generous. And Moda has, I knew that they did, but like I don't go to their site very much. They have a lot of free quilt patterns and things on there. So if you're looking for a new project, please check out their website. They had a lot of cool stuff. And then this fabric I got, this is Rose Blush by Fabric Flair. And let me open it up. I was hemming and hawing which fabric I wanted for this. And I had this pattern already, and then I had the floss I eventually ordered. But it calls for, what did it call for? 32 count pomegranate fabrics by Stephanie, which I don't stitch in linen, and it's always sold out, this color. So, and I played around with some colors I had, but nothing was floating my boat. But I think this is going to be the one. I think this is it. Yes, indeed. I think these are going to be it. So there's a fully kitted project now that I have, and that is exciting. I really like this ladybug. It's so pretty. Makes me think of my other granddaughter, not Lilith, but my granddaughter Elena. Her nickname's Lainey, Ladybugs, like ladybugs. So I don't know, I don't think this is going to be on my start anytime soon, but I just wanted to get it all put together. This has weeks floss, and to be honest with you, I don't have a lot of weeks, and I did use it recently. I used it on bobbin. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of those cardboard cards. Like, could we just talk about how annoying they are, and like, could we get a little bit more cardboard so I could like punch it and put it on a floss ring? Yeah, that I didn't like. But yet I am too lazy to put it on its own floss ring. What is wrong with me? So anyway, I guess I can't complain because I know how to fix it. So I'll put that over here with, these were 2 that I showed you last time. That I have some of the floss, I have my fabric picked now, and the rest of the floss is in my cart waiting to come, waiting to be ordered. And then I saw that Nancy the Disorderly Stitcher, she recently this week, a couple nights ago, must have went to her Joann's, and they had a ton of DMC in stock at her Joann's, whatever Joann's she went to, and she scored a bunch. I was like this close tonight, instead of filming this video, since Steve's at the gun club tonight, driving into town and seeing what our store might have left. I think Abby said the store closes in less than a week. I think, I don't know if it'll be open this weekend or not. So, but anyway, I didn't. I thought, no, you have so many goodies. You don't need any more goodies, because if you go, you're going to see something that you think you need, and I really don't need anything. And then I went and filmed tonight, and I wanted to film because I wanted to show you. I was really excited about that rug, and I wanted to show you my haul because I like watching other people's haul, so hopefully you are having fun watching mine. But last time I went to Joann's, I picked up this fabric here. Look at how stinking cute that is. And I believe I have 2 yards because that was the cut minimum they had. I don't know. Abby said they were starting to wrap in price bolts, so I think if they haven't already, they might be starting to sell by the bolt. So I figured this is going to be a great neutral to work in. And I noticed last week when I was like, I don't know if I showed you this or not, So, you know, I worked on folding up and putting away that fabric. And as I was folding it, it was like super relaxing. Like, I think putting away fabric is like a whole nother hobby for me. Like, I enjoyed the whole, does anyone else like to do that? And then like I color, you know, put it with its friends, its color friends, and my shelves are full. And I said I wouldn't buy any more when my shelves were full, so I might be done. I might be done because they're full, and I need to stitch more, and then I can get more. And speaking of folding fabric, I had shared with you guys that I ordered what I could of the Chelsea checks, and this is what I got to add to my collection. So let's see what I have here. I have a purple. Oops, I'm holding it too low. Purple. This is a green. It's kind of showing blue on the camera. The red I love. The red and black, very Christmassy. A gray. And that's it, because they're folded in half here. And then I have another stack. I don't think these are half yard. Yeah, they're half yards. And then I got this one I really like, the blue, the orange and black, and that's it. So to me, these are neutrals. To me, I read these as a solid in my mind. Like, I don't like working with solid fabrics, but like the checks, the checks and the ginghams and dots, to me is a neutral, is a basic. This is super pretty. Sorry for the crinkling. This is Snowman's Gatherings 4 by Primitive Gatherings. And it's just a blue and cream layer cake with snowmen. And I think this would make the most absolute beautiful little throw blanket. Mix in to make it big enough if you needed to some navies and creams. Make like just like a very simple free layer cake loop from Fat Quarter Shop, so you don't cut up all these snowmen real small. I'll insert a picture of the Fat Quarter bundle on the screen so you can see all the different patterns, but it's a really, really pretty wintry blue. So that. And then I thought these might be helpful. They advertise these, they're new. They're, well, they say Fat Quarter Shop. I thought they were Lori Holtz, but maybe not. They are fabric stickers. And you're supposed to be able to stick them on your fabric and not have any glue residue. So kind of maybe like a washi tape where they remove cleanly. And I thought this would be great for when I cut into my Ada and like, you know, maybe I cut into this piece of fabric flare and I want to remember what, well, this one's a 16. This is a 16 count. silly girl, I never buy 16 count. That must have been what color it came in. For this color must have came in that count. But so I could write on here, you know, rose. This would be important because I almost always buy 14 count, and I would assume. So I could write rose blush solid fabric flare 16 count on the piece that I don't use, so I would know in the future what it is. You could also use it on your regular fabric too. So like if you break up some yardage, I don't know, like if I would break up, I don't know how that works. Let's say I had a fat quarter bundle and I used part of it and I had some left over and I kind of kept it all together. A lot of times once I use it, I break it up and file it with its colors, but maybe if I kept it together, I would write what the fabric line is, if there was enough of it left, or if I had a big piece. That way I could find more of it, maybe on Etsy if I wanted some more in the future, something like that. I was thinking mostly for my cross stitch fabric, but it would work for the quilting fabric as well if you needed to know. And then I'm going to try some of these handy stickers. Let me grab my Alpha Bitties. So I really enjoy using, let me pull them out of here, my Alpha Bitties, which are just little pieces of hard plastic that have letters on them or numbers. Some are seasonal. I got a couple different packs in here for you to mark your quilt pieces as you're quilting. And since I have a lot of projects going at once and it takes me a long time to finish them, some of my Alpha Bitties are in my project totes. Like maybe the letter A is already in use, maybe my letter AA is in use, or my 1, and so I need more. So I thought instead of buying more of these, I would give these a try. These are stickers by Lori Holt, and you get, does it tell me how many I get in a pack? You get like a bazillion of them. And I thought that would be an affordable way to go, or I could even put them on a little piece of cardstock if I really wanted to be creative and make my own little Alpha Bitties, or use them as disposables. I also thought I would share this pack with Abby since she's been quilting a lot, and she does a lot of complex quilts, like a lot of pieces, like hunter stars and stuff. And so I think these might be helpful for her, so I was going to share these with her as well. So I got those. We're almost there. We're almost there. Let me pull out a couple more things. I got this piece of Lori Holt Americana fabric. I already have this fabric in blue, but I also wanted the red because I'm thinking of course, finishing for the summer, and I really liked it, so I wanted to get a piece of that. This I must have just thrown in the cart because I know I'm working on the M's, gathering more. So there's another Classic Colorworks. And here is 2 more of the M's. This one is Muddy Puddles, which I've used before, and Wild Berries I have not used before, and that's a really deep red, like a prim red, like deep and muted. So that, and then I got this. Look at this. So this is Endless Love. It's a Riley Blake kit. It was half off, and so that's why I bought it. It comes with this pattern. I don't have a desire to do this pattern, so I bought the kit for 2 reasons. Well, half off, so it was a really good deal. I love the heart box. I love hearts, and it made the fabric, the amount of fabric I'm getting, it made it like super great deal. So I've got all these reds, and I'm not going to keep them together. I am going to file them away. They, they're different cuts to go with the pattern. Whoops. I mean, gorgeous fabric. And you're going to see in a minute how I'm going to use some of these reds. That's a big piece, so I don't know what that is, if that's a background or what, but there's a lot there. And then this, well, no, that's not the background, but that's something for sure. And then this is the background, which is just a cream. It's nothing spectacular to write home about. Let's see, what is it? This is RBD, Riley Blake's Cream 610. Background, blocks, and border. That's this. And then a lot of these are 1/4 yards, a 1/3 yard, an 1/8 yard. This must be the other chunk. This is 3/8 of a yard, so that's a good bit. There's 1 5/8 of one of these hearts. 3. And then the backing, which I don't need and didn't come in the kit, would be 3 3/4 yard. So a Sandy Gervais kit, Endless Love. It's a beautiful, beautiful pattern for sure. And I really like hearts and I love reds and pinks, but it's just not one that I want to do. And so I'm not, but I really wanted the fabric and I wanted the box and I'm like so excited. And then speaking of so excited, I save the best for last. If I buy nothing else the rest of the year, I need nothing. I need nothing in life. I love this so much. I tried to get this 2 or 3 times and each time it'd be sold out. Look at the cutest sewing box ever. It's 3-dimensional. Like, these are raised little felt pieces. Look at the roof. It has like a measuring tape. It's a plastic with fabric, like this is felt and fabric. It has a quality latch on it. The roof lifts up and you've got a tray. And then it's just a regular box on the inside. Nothing special about that. But I thought, I've been taking, and I probably still will, that vintage green box I got at the thrift store. Because if, you know, to the campground and whatnot. And it's great because it's washable. I don't care if anything happens to it, but boy, wouldn't this look cute carrying around my English paper piecing. And like I said, like I never even seen it advertised. Like, it just came up in my feed or something. And I was like, oh, and it says notify me. So I hit notify me. It notified me. And then I like went to buy it and it was already sold out. So then I was like, notify me again. And I like did that 2 or 3 times. And so like the one time when the notify me came in, I like just stopped what I was doing and like right then placed the order so I could get it. So I was happy I got it. It's just super dear. I don't know how much it would hold up at wear and tear, you know, because these are all little felty things, but it's so cute, so cute, so cute, so cute. So that has been my last couple weeks of stitching. You know, I worked on the rug, I worked on a little cross stitch, little English paper piecing, a little thinking and planning ahead of what I want to do, and then a bunch of shopping. And I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I work super hard. My husband works super hard, and I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry one bit. I enjoy everything that I have. I hope I live long enough to stitch it all. But you know what? If I don't, that's okay, because I know Abby is like totally like falling down the rabbit hole. So, you know, she's just like, yeah, keep shopping, Mom, keep shopping, because she's a crafter. And then I think for sure little Lilith might be following in our footsteps. And yeah, and probably Elena too. Yeah, I don't see Elena as much as I used to, which breaks my heart. But when I do see her, I'm sure, you know, she's still got her little crafting bug too. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great couple of weeks. Not sure. I probably won't see you guys again until maybe after Steve retires. But if I have a fire lights under me and I get another project done, or a lot of projects done, then maybe I'll be back sooner so I can show you those fun things. But until then, I hope that you guys are having a beautiful start to your summer, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.